Most people drive past abandoned gas stations without giving them a second thought. Broken pumps, boarded up windows, a faded sign nobody has bothered to take down, maybe some caution tape around a cracked canopy that stopped being useful years ago. The kind of property that makes people think liability, not opportunity. John used to drive past one every single day on his way to work. For 3 years he never thought about it once. Then he started looking into why abandoned gas stations sell so cheap, and what he found changed the way he thought about property entirely. Most people assume abandoned gas stations are worthless because of underground storage tanks. Old fuel tanks buried beneath the surface can leak over decades, contaminating the soil and groundwater underneath. Cleaning that up can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes more. Environmental liability is real, and most buyers walk away the moment they hear the word contamination. John didn't walk away. He learned to read the Phase 1 and Phase 2 environmental reports that sellers are required to provide. A Phase 1 is a records review. A Phase 2 is actual soil testing. If the Phase 2 comes back clean, the contamination fear is gone. The stigma stays, but the actual risk disappears. Most buyers never get that far. John did. He found a shuttered gas station on a corner lot in a mid-sized city, sitting on half an acre of land at a busy intersection. The previous owner had operated it for 30 years before fuel costs and competition from a larger chain 2 blocks away made it unviable as a gas station. It had been sitting empty for 4 years. The asking price was $180,000. John offered $140,000. The seller accepted within a week. Nobody else had made an offer in over a year. The Phase 2 environmental report came back clean. The tanks had been properly decommissioned before the station closed. There was no contamination issue. Just a corner lot at a busy intersection that everyone had been avoiding out of assumption. John didn't reopen it as a gas station. He didn't try to lease it to a retailer or build anything on it. He did the simplest possible thing. He paved the canopy area, restriped the lot, installed a payment terminal and an automatic barrier, and opened it as a self-serve parking lot. Total conversion cost, $18,000. The location was 2 blocks from a downtown entertainment district, restaurants, bars, a mid-sized concert venue. Evening and weekend foot traffic was consistent and heavy. Daily parking in the area was scarce. John charged $12 per day for daytime parking and $15 flat for evening and weekend event parking. The lot held 34 spaces. In his first full month, the lot generated $19,400 in gross revenue. Cost of goods was almost zero. His only recurring costs were the payment terminal subscription, liability insurance, and occasional lot maintenance. Net income from month 1, just over $16,000. Then a problem showed up. The city sent John a notice. The property was zoned for commercial retail use, and a self-serve parking lot without an attendant technically required a conditional use permit that John hadn't applied for before opening. He had assumed parking fell under general commercial use. It didn't in this municipality. John didn't fight it. He hired a local zoning attorney for a flat fee of $2,500, filed the conditional use permit application, and closed the lot for 3 weeks while it was processed. 3 weeks of lost revenue stung. But the permit came through, and once it did, John had legal protection and a properly documented operation that no neighbor or city inspector could challenge again. He reopened, raised the evening rate to $18 to recover some of the lost weeks, and the lot filled just as fast as before. With the operation stabilized and permitted, John started looking for a second property. He found a shuttered car wash 6 months later, same story. Closed for years, sitting on a decent corner, priced low because nobody wanted to deal with the existing equipment. John negotiated the seller down to $95,000, paid $8,000 to clear the old equipment and restriped the lot, and opened a second parking operation with 28 spaces. Location 2 sat near a regional hospital. Visitor parking at the hospital itself was limited and expensive. John charged $10 a day and filled every space by 9 a.m. 2 lots, 62 spaces total. Combined monthly net income after all costs, just over $28,000. Today John owns 3 lots across 2 cities, 96 spaces total. He checks in on each one roughly once a week, mostly to inspect the equipment and collect the physical cash overflow from the terminals. His monthly net income sits at just over $20,000 after all costs, insurance, and maintenance are accounted for. He has no tenants, no leaking roofs, no 2 a.m. phone calls, no renovation budgets, no kitchens or bathrooms to maintain. John owns corners of asphalt that everyone else drove past for years thinking they were worthless. He just bothered to read the environmental report.